Welcome back. It is going to be a grim morning and probably a grim couple of weeks up in Ruidoso after some more intense flooding ravaged that area yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. 3 deaths have already been reported and the destruction appears extremely widespread. We've had our KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar and photographer Edith Montero out there all morning, really showing us the scene and what it looks like. One of the houses that we've seen, it almost looks bent.
Yeah, we were making that comment earlier, and there's a lot of those videos that Jesus was showing us where those houses have been warped, and I think that goes to show like how strong those floodwaters were and how fast they rose. Of course, we have our Jesus Baltazar live. Let's see if we can pull him up now. Jesus, glad to have you now with us maybe one more time here in this morning show. We want to ask you a couple of questions. Carla?
Yeah, that's right. We've seen you've moved closer to Rio Ruidoso right now, but we want to see just how muddy the conditions are there. I know you've had a mishap yourself last night. It's really dangerous out there.
Ian, Carla, yes, there's a drainage ditch just right behind me under those RVs. That's where I fell late last evening as I was walking around. This is a Hollywood neighborhood in Ruidoso, next to Sutter Drive and just next to Rio Ruidoso. I had a misstep and I fell into that ditch, pretty much covering me up to my waist. Now, if you take a look here, this is kind of one of the muddier areas. This is really close actually to the river. If you want to come down here, you can see just how muddy really this whole area is. Now just over there is the river. That's the river that rose from just 2 feet to over 20 feet in a matter of about 2 to 3 hours. Residents were telling me the flooding came in, several of them able to get out, but this whole neighborhood has residences, RVs, houses, and even restaurants, businesses completely obliterated. Now this is the extent of that damages we have been able to assess. We're told by residents there are other areas that we have yet to hit to capture the destruction. We haven't even gone to Ruidoso Downs. This is just one neighborhood that we've been able to look at so far.
Well, Jesus, you also talked to the mayor yesterday. You were able to catch up with him and a couple of residents. Was there anything that stood out in that conversation with the mayor about sort of the infrastructure of the area or how those fires last year, remember, how that started to affect this flood now?
Yeah, so the mayor, Ian, likes other residents from here in Hollywood that I spoke with. They said these floods have been severe. Obviously, we saw the floods from last summer and this year. They say all of them really, they believe, are a result of the debris and the fuel that was left over from the forest fires from May of last year that really make the flooding much worse. This all coming down pretty much brought all that debris down. The mayor explained that all that debris from the forest fires will clog the drainage areas, making matters even worse. We have residents who we'll speak to later today complaining about how the drainage hasn't been improved here down the river, and that's essentially what they say continues to make matters worse, not only from last year's floods, but now this historical flood that just hit Ruidoso yesterday afternoon.
Not only is the severity shown really in the physical damage that's been done over there, clearly we can see it behind you, but this flooding has also taken 3 lives so far. What can you tell us about those who have so far died?
Carlos, so late last night, before we went on air at 10 p.m., I had just spoken to the mayor. He told me multiple people were missing at the time. They had search and rescue operations. It was about an hour or an hour and a half, 2 hours after that conversation that we learned that 3 people had died, two of them being children. Now, speaking with residents actually late last evening, at the time we couldn't confirm that there were kids missing, but there residents in this neighborhood telling us they were looking around the neighborhood. They were helping search for those 2 children that we now know have lost their lives.
This is a tragic morning there in Ruidoso for sure. Thank you very much for your excellent reporting, not just this morning, but staying overnight and being ready for us last night as well. That's top-tier journalism. Thank you very much.